Welcome to the Amazing Concept podcast. And today I am so excited for our guest. And
you're excited for me?
yes, I am.
Wow!
Because this is actually the second time we're recording this. This is like the second take. The first take, it was intense. So,
yeah.
Marycate.
Some people are busy in life, yo.
No, I'm not busy.
Some people are busy in life.
I'm not that busy. Marycate is just trying to put me on blast. So, welcome to the Amazing Concept podcast, and I have a wonderful guest with me today. Her name is Marycate. She's a content creator, and I think you just have to take over now because, wow, hey, you've done some amazing things, and yeah, introduce yourself. Tell the people who you are.
Hey, everybody. My name is Marycate Masilela. I am a filmmaker / YouTuber, digital content creator, filmmaker. Did I say filmmaker?
Yeah, no, you haven't. This is the first time you said it.
Okay, for a second there I thought I was repeating. That's what I do. Love movies. Everything in my life is about moving pictures.
Oh, interesting. So, are you available on YouTube so that people can go like and subscribe while they're listening to this podcast?
Yeah, you better do that. Check me out on my YouTube channel. It's called Marycate Masilela. Marycate with a C, and it's one word.
Okay, word. In our previous engagement, because this is now the second take or the second coming of this podcast.
I think we should start like originally.
Yeah. Okay, you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what I'm about and who I am. Well, I was born and raised in Barbaton. I studied film in actor. And now I'm currently working on my first documentary, which is called Indoni. We get closer to the mic, okay? And before that, I used to be working in radio.
Right.
Yeah, as a content producer.
Look at you.
Yeah. What are you trying to say? So I was a content producer for like a good 2 years. I had 2 shows, the Elevation show from 9 to 12.
Shout out.
And the Afternoon Drive from 3 to 6. By the way, we got nominated for a Liberty Award.
Oh, fantastic.
Shout out. Which is like the best, like best of the best radio award in South Africa.
Right.
Even though we didn't win, but I feel like we got recognized, makes me feel good by the best. And after doing that, got promoted, became a programs manager.
Right.
And I took that opportunity for one reason.
Okay, what was that?
Because the station was about to embark in a radio drama, and that's like a dream for every filmmaker.
Yeah.
Because I feel, and like a lot of filmmakers, that you need to be able to tell one-dimensional storyline in order for you to tell 3D.
Oh, okay.
So,
I see what you mean.
For me, it was like, oh my gosh, this is like such a great opportunity for me to exercise my motion picture, because I feel like in order for you to, when you're already a filmmaker, you have a camera and then you start shooting and stuff like that. But the thing about filmmaking, you need to awaken people's senses.
Right.
Like the emotion, the way they feel. That's how people get goosebumps when they watch movies and stuff like that. And I think you can actually exercise that by starting with radio dramas, by telling a story and making people connect and become emotional about it, and actually see themselves as one of those characters, And we did a radio drama for a second. And hold on,
yeah.
I know this is bad of me. This is so bad of me. I forgot my radio drama wait.
Well, wait. Before, while you're still finding your radio drama, I want to go back into because you say that you're a filmmaker, right, and a content creator. Was your idea while embarking in the school journey or the schooling system always gonna be behind the camera, director kind of vibe, or were you exposed to different things and then you then found your niche?
Okay, originally, let me tell you. Originally, when I went to film school, guys, I had a dream. I was like, I'm gonna be a director. No matter what, I'm gonna be a director. Yes, I passed directing, but I didn't make the cut in first year.
Okay.
Because the director, the head of directing, the lecturer, Dave, he selects 25 to take to second year. You know? Jeez. So even though you may pass, but it doesn't mean that you made the cut.
Word.
You know?
Word.
So my dreams were crushed, you know. And I had like the thing, I was like, you know what, like, should I do first year again to try again? Because a lot were deciding to do that.
Yeah.
A lot were deciding to do that. I was like, oh my God, should I do that? Can I afford to like spend another year, an extra year in varsity just because I want to become a director? You know, and I thought about it and I said yes, and I did.
Wow.
But when I was doing it again, I ended up falling in love with editing. And my skills of producing also, like, you know, do you know when it's quite funny, when I was in university, I was like the most unorganized person like ever.
Yeah.
You know, unorganized. And when you do producing, you need to be organized.
Right.
You know, because literally you're the skeleton of the whole production. You know. So I was learning as I go, and it was literally helping me to put my life into order.
Right.
You know, but at the time I wasn't the best producer, but not saying I was even the worst. At the same time, everything worked out at the end. It was just learning time management. You know, time is everything, to be honest. You have to be like literally 20 minutes ahead if you know that you always like running a bit late. You know, it's quite impressive for you to have extra time so you can sort those things that you're probably trying to figure out. So I remember my first film, which I had to present. The film was
this the idea or just like the premiere of the
premiere, because in AFDA every term you do a movie, like it's your exam. Your movie is your exam. You know. And Marycate, there was a time when I was like, my whole team, I left my team at the presentation room, and I had to go and print out the DVD cover at Postnet at Mel Park. And then somehow the producing lecturer ended up calling us like 3 people, like 3 teams above. They skipped those 3 teams because they have a list. And then they skipped us, they skipped them, 3 teams, and then they called my team. And they called your name. Yeah. They were like, where's Marycate? Yeah. And then I wasn't around because I had to like print the DVD cover and stuff like that. So when everybody's calling me, they're like, oh my gosh, I'm supposed to present right now. And they will not take your film without a DVD cover. Like, it's not, you have your product there, but you need to look presentable and stuff like that. 100%. So when I finally arrived, my team would have actually eaten me like dead, fresh, alive, you know, and they were pissed with me and stuff like that. So I learned from a young age, you need to take yourself seriously and whatever you're doing, you know, and that's a great place to learn from, you know, like you seriously need to learn time management. And Laura said like, you will never be a producer, you'll never be like, you should end, you should quit, you know. And I was like, and I was crying and stuff like that. And then I was like, you know what, producing sounds so damn hard.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna do it, and I ended it. Like
So what actually got you into producing? What was the main
when
common interest?
I moved back to Barbaton,
Yeah.
and I was like, I had no job and stuff like that. I moved back.
Was this after you graduated?
I moved back. I dropped out.
Oh, okay.
I moved back. My mom was, she had cancer. So I literally, so I decided to go back home, but I was completed my second year.
Yeah.
I went back home.
Take care of your mom.
Yeah, and just to be there and stuff like that. And which was a very good decision because 6 months later she passed. And so I was like so depressed and stuff like that. And in my street, I was like going to buy chips at this plaza, and this guy was always like checking me out and stuff like that. His name is Ace. And then he's like, dude, like, what do you do? Like, I always see you and stuff like that. No, I'm a filmmaker and stuff like that. And he's like, oh, I work at BCR FM. I think we need someone like you at the station and stuff like that. And I was like, really? and it's like, yeah, come through. I'll speak to my station manager, you know. And then literally the next day he was like, yeah, my station manager is interested, come through Monday, and then yeah, let's talk. So when I come through, I had everything, like, it was so weird. I had like so many ideas on what I can do for the station. And the guy, and my first thing which I actually presented was a bioscope, my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And I presented, I think we should have a film show where we interview filmmakers, directors, producers, actors about their latest film, which they're about to go on cinema. And you're like, wow, I love it. But I also want you to take care, be responsible of the 9 to 12 and 3 to 6. We're looking for content producers. And I was like, oh, I'm the last producer that's a producer. And he's like, no, I think you'll be good at it. And I was like,
knowing that you had already given up in a way. And I was like, okay. I took it because, you know, as I was in the middle of the year, and I was like, you know what, I need to work before I go back to school. Yeah.
So I took it and I became a content producer, which is basically you have to look at stuff that the presenter is going to talk about, organize interviews, and create features for the show, just make the show interesting and stuff like that. So we did, I was responsible for those 2 shows. One, and I even created a bioscope as a feature for the Elevation show, and I got nominated for Best Radio Personality at the Sunrise Women Awards for a bioscope.
Did you win?
No.
Okay.
It's a voting system, yeah. But even being recognized is a great privilege. You know?
That's true.
It is.
That's true.
So. When I did that, and the following year we got also nominated for Liberty Awards, and I was like, actually, I think I'm kind of doing well at this producing thing, and they said I wouldn't be a producer kind of thing, you know.
So do you think then, having someone said that you can't be a producer,
it does give you ammunition.
Oh, so that was like
it does
to work hard.
Because it wasn't my first love. It wouldn't be like, you know, I want to be a producer, because a lot of people, when they think about filmmaking, they don't think producer, they think about acting, directing, done. They don't even think about editing, they don't even think about cinematography, sound, score making, makeup. When they think about makeup, they think about beauty, but they don't think about the blood, the scars, the monsters, you know, the special effects.
From a producer's perspective, why do you think people are just, from what I'm getting, is the front line of things, like the glitz and glam, like in front of the camera kind of vibe?
A producer doesn't have glitz and glam.
Okay.
A producer is stressed 24 hours, from day one to the last day. Like seriously, because it's about money. Like seriously.
Okay, so it's all about the business side of things.
It's the business side of things. That's why I always want to emphasize to kids out there, you always have to study business. The business side of filmmaking, because right now I'm doing my documentary and it's hard. I'm not even gonna lie, it's hard as hell, because you have to raise funds to do a pilot for you to even showcase this is what I want to do. And then they'll even give you that budget for you to shoot, and it's probably not even enough, because most of the money will probably be occupied by the equipment, because you want to shoot quality. You know, so you can be in a certain standard, certain class, so you can be featured as many film festivals as you can. You know, so salaries do have to cut back when you want to be recognized at a certain manner. That's why I say, if you don't have enough money for salaries, invest in collaborations. You know, collaborate a lot with people and be like, dude, this film will do so much for you in the future.
So what I want to understand from your side, from a producer's perspective, because you spoke about a lot of things. You spoke about the business side of things. You spoke about the funding side of things. You spoke about the money making within the team and its essence. But I also want to get the distribution of that film or that pilot film that you shot. So how do you get that body of work distributed into platforms? So you go to the SABC, go on the doors like, yo, I've got this thing, I want to showcase this. Like, what is then the process after you've done shooting and recording and editing? What is then the marketing side of it, or getting it out there?
Marketing, I wouldn't even start at marketing. We have to start at raising funds. There are so many ways for you to raise funds. There's this girl called Sihle Hlope. She's a person who introduced me to crowdfunding. You know, I didn't even believe about that. You know, you can literally gather yourself, you and your team, and check out a cool club or pub, you know, a cool spot where people go who are creatives, and then we have good burgers and stuff like that, play good music, and literally crowdfund. Like, tell people your story. We're trying to make a film, and here's a box, please donate. Like, literally donate, so we can literally do a pilot, so we can do something that will be structured enough so we can present ourselves to a big institution like NVF, so they can recognize
What's NVF?
NVF is one of the film institutions where it funds a lot of films in South Africa. Funds series and films, documentaries in South Africa. They even are in control, are the funders of the SAFTAs. Yeah, so you know the SAFTAs, right?
Yeah, I do know the SAFTAs.
So you can present your story there, because even like after that, literally waiting for funding for a movie, you can wait between a year to 2 years to get back a response.
So we haven't even started shooting.
Like, haven't started shooting.
This
you
is
have
just
a pilot.
A pilot, which is the concept.
The concept. You know, you probably also have done your treatment or your proposal for you be like, this is how it's gonna look. You know, you've probably written a script, storyboard. You know, like pictures to showcase how it's gonna look, and everybody from all departments, makeup, producer, directing, cinematographer, how they're gonna create this thing to make it come alive. Because filmmaking is expensive, it's a luxury, like literally, it's a luxury of rich people, you know. But it's important for us to adapt and adopt it, because we have so much culture and history for us to preserve and tell in South Africa. You know, I don't think Steven Spielberg is needed for him to come through, to come here, for him to tell our story. As much as he has the education and the funding, he doesn't have the level of heart and understanding for him to create a storyline which would make us like teardrop and for us to relate and to take the same story and take it to China, Germany, Russia or Paris, wherever, for them to literally be like, wow, is that literally happening in South Africa? You know? So we just need money. That's what South Africans need, because we have a lot of filmmakers who are shooting a lot of projects which are American and are shot here, even in Mpumalanga. A lot of films are shot in Mpumalanga, Cape Town, Joburg. Avengers was shot in Joburg. You know, a lot of films are shot here, and filmmakers are just assistants, gaffer scripts, you know, production managers into these productions. But we don't, with our capabilities, the institutions don't even have enough money for them to even fund us. You find international like production companies coming here to collaborate with our institutions for them to create a project, because they have the capability. Here we have 50 million. You raise another 50 million so we can create a 100 million production, like essentially Magic did with HBO channels. You know, because they were able to put money on the line. You know. So our young production companies, I don't have a production company which can be like, yo, I have 20 right now, just drop it, just do it, you know.
Can I also just ask, in terms of like, also now that we're living in the digital space, do you think that there are a lot of gatekeepers in our South African film system? You know, because as in my understanding, there's a tireless process of just like funding, and then you have to go to the guys that fund SAFTA as well. Also to fund your project. Can't we just like post the documentary on YouTube or something for distribution purposes? I don't know.
That's the new age, and that's the route way I'm going. There's, in my opinion, TV is dying. You know, and some would say cinema is also dying. I don't think cinema is dying. I think it's more of a luxury, more of an art or like a gallery kind of thing. If you're gonna go, like I'm gonna treat myself kind of thing, I'm gonna literally go and watch art, you know, kind of thing. Yes, you have the ability, the wrong way, by the way, to pirate and download the same movie which will probably be coming out this week in cinema. You can do that. Let's not act I don't do that. You can do that, you know. You can do that. And if you can wait long enough, like a month, you can stream the same damn movie. You know. But I think filmmakers, you need to like be in 2020, be in the modern world. You can literally shoot a film and upload it on Facebook. How many people? You have instantly the opportunity to be viewed by billions. Your film can be viewed by billions, and then you, by having that amount of views, by capturing that market, you can have the opportunity to like be presented. A big production company be like, yo, I can literally see you have the capacity to like draw a certain amount of people. Let's do something. You know, how about I give you 100 million? What can you do with that 100 million? You know, I think right now we're in a consumption like age. People just want to consume. But as filmmakers, we cannot consume. We need to be producing. You know, as much as people are consuming, we need to be producing. So we cannot be like, we have to, because I'm a filmmaker at heart. Like really, I love the art of filmmaking. I believe there has to be an art film in your library, but we're living in a different age right now. I think we can tell if you have a good camera, just take it and shoot.
Yeah.
You know, shoot a good storyline which is just practical, doesn't need special effects, doesn't need like a period maybe 80 years from now when you just need different clothes and stuff like that. Something practical which is relevant, which is Mbombela, which is happening within the city or Ekasi, whatever, and you shoot with good actors and then you release it out there. We just need to keep on creating content for people to watch.
Right. I also just want to get into, which is then the last phase of this podcast, I want to get into your personal project. You're doing a documentary. Yeah. Tell us more about that. Yeah.
Indoni, man, it's been long.
Right.
I started doing this film while I was doing radio because I was like asking myself, like, I really want to be a filmmaker, but you can't call yourself a filmmaker if you haven't done anything, you know? But then again, you can't. I also want everything to be done in a certain manner. I want it to look in a certain manner. I want it to look beautiful. And you also need to figure out what kind of storylines that you want to do. So first, I named my production company. It's called Family Productions, which is my clan name. I'm Debele, I'm Masilela.
Word.
I'm not Vumanzi, I'm
Okay. Tell the people.
Yeah, I'm from the Joburg side, you know.
Yeah.
So I wanted to do films which represent women, which are indigenous, which are telling our stories.
Yeah.
You know.
So what does Indoni Yamanzi tell in terms of story?
Indoni Yamanzi, in technical terms, it's indigenous mystical wonders of Mjindini.
Technical terms as in English.
English, yeah. It's an indigenous mystical wonders of Mjindini, Lost Creek Rivers, the vitality of water in African spiritual journey, and the sacred power which rules it. Basically, we're looking for the search of people living underneath or beneath the water. You know, is there life beneath the water? So I interview people. There's a biologist who's we actually is the founder of Marycate, the Makonja Mountains a World Heritage Site. I interviewed him, and he believes like Barbaton is like the birthplace of where the world life actually started, which is, by the way, Barbaton is called the genesis of life. And we're looking into it because there are people who I know, and I've had stories my dad used to tell me about his cousin, like literally disappearing into Umfula in Mjindini, and then they were being gone for like months, and all of a sudden nigga just pops up, you know, kind of thing, and then like he hasn't been missing for some time, and they saw him, he was gone, and then.
Jeez, that's like. This is gonna be an interesting talk.
You know, and then speaks about how like all of a sudden how the experience was. You know, it's like no, I wasn't gone. Someone took me. You know, in a spiritual level. You know, and they speak this story, and I don't want to say too much.
We must really stay tuned, I guess.
And I get the other opportunity to interview chiefs from those locations who are in charge, because Ukosi works with spirituality. Like when you're king, you're not the king of the physical, you're also the king of the spiritual realm also. So have the opportunity, even went to the museum, looking at the background about the history of water, like how important is it and how it's helped, like why is it called the Crocodile River, kind of stuff, like we need to know those things, you cannot just read the sign, kind of thing. This is our history, this is our heritage, we need to know why they're from, and most things are just not named like that, there's a meaning behind them.
Which also plays a bigger context, which is now, in the month that we're in, February, Black History
Month.
Wow.
Why are we adapting to American cultures? It's not a bad thing.
It's really not. It's really not.
Especially since we're celebrating such a thing. But this is why I'm doing a documentary like this, because not enough people there's not enough entertainment or edutainment based on our history.
Our history.
We're always absorbing the Western, kind of thing. I hear
you 100%.
We know so much about Greek mythology. We know so much about.
But then we forget our ancestors.
Vikings and stuff like that. But when you start talking about what's happening in Africa, what's actually happening on your backyard, you don't even know. You'll be like, huh?
Do you think we've played negligence to that, or it's just like we are just absorbing as you said
we have to be held responsible, guys. Like by the end of the day, you'll be like, yeah, we're too westernized and stuff like that. But I feel like when you come to a certain age, like I'll use myself as an example. When I went to school, I studied English and Afrikaans. But there was a time in my life when I was like, no, I want to do Siswati. And my mom was like, no, Swati is dog shy. It's very, very hard. I did it, so I don't want you to do it. I'm like, but I am playing Afrikaans. I'm playing Afrikaans. And here they are, Bobusi, they're in Siswati class, they're getting 80%, and I know people in that class who cannot beat me, so I think I want to do Siswati.
Wow.
And then they're like, no, my parents are like, do Afrikaans, so we need to open up to the idea. Yes, it's easy being more westernized for you to actually be part of the space of what's happening, but who are you? Who are you from? And sometimes it's so hard being in a modern world where you really don't even understand who you're from. Like it's really, really hard, and it's so shameful when you can't even text in your own language.
Wow.
It's so shameful. It's very, very, very shameful.
That is true.
And it gets to you, may act like it doesn't, but it will get to you sooner or later.
I share the same sentiment.
So it's important. It's really, really important for us to know our storylines. Like Nkwanewan, what do you call it? I didn't say it right. My Swati ain't right, y'all. It ain't right. When it's like, when you tell stories in the fire, right? In the fire, and then you go back, and one of my favorite books is Credo Mutwa. Is this book? It's called what is it?
I don't know.
Wait, it's called we live in the age of Google, guys. I have a bad memory, guys. Okay, this is a podcast and there is no sponsors. I'm a stoner. Okay, so it's called
This year would be so great, right?
Huh?
This year would be so great.
It is. Wait.
Are we finding it?
Yes, we'll find it right now. And I have read the book, y'all. I have read the book. In Daba, My Children. It's my favorite book.
Yeah.
It's my favorite book, especially chapter 1, when it talks about how life actually started. movie from chapter 1, literally. After doing the first 2 films, the 2 projects which I'm doing right now, I'm doing that.
That's going to be your next project.
That's my project.
But also, I think that you should actually come back, because in the last section of the podcast, we went really, really deep, and I also want to have this conversation again, where we talk about what it means to be black, what our heritage actually means to us, because now we are at the same time trying to find who we are as African people, Look, we're doing this podcast in English, you know what I mean? We're doing this podcast in English.
Because the other thing is, like, I don't want to like isolate people, because as much as there'll be Western people, white people are so open-minded compared to black people. Black people are the first to be like, no, kind of thing. I don't do that, kind of thing. But white people are so open-minded, and they know so much more about their space that they live in more, and they take the decisions to be like, no, I don't want to be a part of that. But they know they have the history enough for them to say no. Why? But black people, just because someone else is doing it, they'll do it. But they don't have good enough of a reason to actually back it up. This is why I'm not doing this. So it is important. Like, seriously, guys, know your language. I've made it a duty for me to actually know Siswati better and then Sindebele better, because it's who I am, like it's who I am, and I'm tired of being embarrassed. Yes, but in the I can't pronounce things right. It's so weird. I don't believe in the Malwini, to be honest, because
when I speak, done this on the second version of the podcast, because we are trying this along.
Wait, I just want to say, I don't want to say Malwini, because I can speak English like quite fluently. But when I speak Siswati, I make so many mistakes. It's because I've become so much into the Western space so much that English is like quite a norm, but Siswati, I'll be like, I'll think so many times before I say it, because I know they're about to laugh at me, kind of thing. So I want to be comfortable in my space. I want to be comfortable in my skin. That's the mission.
Alright, guys, you heard it here first on the Mainstream Content podcast. We're going to bring you back, right? Because I want us to also explore a lot of topics on blackness and black history, and what does it mean to be African and really black. So that was Marycate. Facebook page, where are you, who you are, tell us, so people can go and like and subscribe and follow.
I'm on Facebook. I do have a Facebook page, but I'm not Facebook, y'all. I'm not. Facebook is just...
So what we'll do is that
I'm a YouTuber. I love YouTube. I don't even use TV. Seriously, I love YouTube and the gram. That's me,
So I'll just drop a link in the description.
Yes,
and then you guys can tab it on there.
Yeah, check me out on Marycate Masilela, and I do have a Instagram page for my documentary, which is indoni, yamanzi. And can I have a last word?
Yeah, sure, go for it.
I want to say to inspiring filmmakers out there, wherever you are in the world, it's important for you to be part of the time that you're in right now. It's important for you to tell the story, record what's happening in the time that you are in right now. That is what makes you a filmmaker. You're preserving time, you're preserving culture and history. It's cool to create other storylines by imagining a new world, but it's always important for you to share with the tomorrow. The tomorrow is the people who are actually going to be watching the content that you're creating. So, and to people in rural areas who want to be filmmakers, just because you stay in a rural area, don't let it stop you. I want to say read a lot, the business of producing. Producing is very important in order for you to be a filmmaker. You maybe want to be an actor or director. Make sure that you create an opportunity for you to work with other filmmakers. And by you creating that opportunity is by you creating your own film. So you need to know how to produce. You need to know how to create funding for you to gather a crew, for you to market it, take it to film festivals, for whatever distribution thing that you be using to output your film. And that's the only thing that's going to help you is producing. South Africans, we need to produce enough producers for us to create